All right, guys. Good morning. So, you guys ready to see the other side of the equation? So, what Prasanna did was like he started with the bottom-up approach. You know, he showed what are the design guidelines from Apple and how to create apps based on those design guidelines. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the completely different approach, and I'm going to tell you how to design a killer app from a perspective of a user. And my definition of a killer app will be something new to you all. So let's get started. I work at Nokia as a mobile engineer. I have a few books written on smartphone and digital design. So this particular book is coming out this month, so check it out if you are interested in design. And then this is the goal of the session. Learn how to design a killer mobile app. So my question was, what is a killer mobile app? How will you define it? So anybody want to take a shot on that?
I would say that it's one of those apps that makes you want to purchase the device.
That's a good definition. Anybody else? Great design, great functionality. Okay, so my definition of killer app is a mobile app which has great reviews in the App Store and which has 4.5 star ratings in the App Store. So the reason I have defined it in a way that this is quantifiable. This is something which makes that this app is popular, this app is being used by a lot of users, and this is a successful app. So this is our goal. Is this our goal? Are you all mobile app developers? So this should be our goal, right? So let's just say that this is our definition of a killer mobile app. So how do we reach there? So let's just see one of the killer mobile app. So most of the examples, my examples will be in Windows Phone. So any Windows Phone developer here? Anybody wants to be a Windows Phone developer? Wanna be? Okay. All right. I'll show you it's worth it. Okay. So this is an audio recorder app. It has 236 ratings, 4.5 stars. So I want to ask you to put some time, see this description in the App Store. You know, the title is Mini Recorder Free. There's a 3-line description which says, tiny but effective way to record audio in Windows Phone. And there's a 4.5 star. The icon is very vibrant and similar to what you see in Windows Phone UI. And then let's see the UI of the application. The UI is very minimal. This is the Metro UI of Windows. There is no design elements at all. So Prasanna was saying that you should always use the UI design guidelines of the device. So I also agree with that to a point because so these are some of the aspects of the application. You know, the first thing is it should work. So as an engineer, we all know how to make it work. But the other things which make it really successful in the App Store is what we are here for. So, you know, it's a one-page app, no design element. There's a visual hierarchy. If you see, this is the recording time, which is much bigger. And then there are settings, which is much familiar to what we are used to. And then it uses modern UI, color icon, and so on. Simple app, but why does it has audio recording is a very basic functionality. Sorry. So you guys can hear me in the back when I'm here? I think it's a small room, so okay, all right. So it uses the Metro UI guidelines. So typography is very important. Clean UI is very important. The content itself is tappable. So there is no Chrome, no UI elements, nothing. You tap on the content and it works. So that is the whole guidelines for Metro UI. Entirely authentic. And these are the other 3 not so popular apps for audio recording. Not very visible because of the light. Okay, so one of them is called Audio Recorder, which is I think a much better title for this app. Recorder, voice recorder. All of them do something similar to this app. They all record audio. What's missing here? This is one of them. So this is the UI for all 3 of them. You know, this one is like, I would say an engineer must have done that, the first one. I would do that like 5 years ago, but now I might change it. And this one is like, I don't even know what this is. Is this like a big microphone and you press on that to start and stop? And this is like a nice picture in the background. But there's no button to start. You press plus and then you start. So all these apps do the same thing, record audio. But these have like 3 stars, many less number of users. But that particular one app has like a lot more users. So this is my first tip. Use the device design guidelines. Familiar visual design is much higher acceptable by the user than a new and better design. I think I'm just reiterating what Prasanna was saying. And then let's talk a bit about the context of the user who are using this particular app. These users are not sitting on a computer. These users are like one of you guys. You are here in a conference. You in the middle of the session, oh, this speaker is awesome. Let me record this audio. This is your context. And you want to have an app right now. You are like, you take out your phone. I need to record this session. You search for it. It has to be free, right? A lot of apps are free. So it'll say search audio recorder in the App Store. That's it. This is your user context. You have less than 1 minute to get to this particular app. What is the result? When you say audio recorder, this is the first 2 pages. Most of the people will go to the first one, audio recorder, but it has 3.5 stars, so not very credible. This is the second page. You go to mini recorder free stands out. All the UI elements is basically grabbing the user to use the mini recorder free here. It has 5 stars, credible, free, and nice UI. So I'm saying that these things are not just important. These things are very, very important when you want to make your app successful. And if you search for audio recorder free, this is your first result. So this should be your goal. It's not just functionality. Now you have to also think about the marketing part of it. It's like a business of its own. Technical part is just 10% of the work. If you want to make your app successful, you have to be here. So these are some of the things. Give an extra attention to the icon. See this icon. These are all the other icons for the other recorders. So see how the mini recorder just seamlessly blends with all the other apps. But the developer might have worked really hard to create those icons. They're like 3-dimensional icons. But they don't belong there. They don't look as if they belong there. So these are some of the things. First 3 lines of description. I was telling you, check the detail of that app. Those 3 lines of description is basically will make your app shine. So that brings us to the second tip I have for you guys. So App Store is your first point of contact. So make sure everything you do there, icon, title, description, make sure that it stands out. Okay, so now we talked about the context. We talked about the successful app. Let's talk about the user. So user is mobile. So what is the user scenario? User is distracted, focused for a short amount of time. You are here for a session. If you are opening an app store, half of your attention is towards the speaker, half towards your colleague maybe sitting beside. So it's a divided attention. And most of the time when people use an app, they might be waiting for a bus or on a train. They don't have 100% attention to your mobile app. So keep this in mind when you are developing an app. So this is one of the main reasons why some of the top game apps are these. Pop ball, breakout. This is like a basic breaking game. This is a pop ball. There's a version for iOS. There's a version for all different devices. But the unique thing here is it's a no-brainer. It's a single-page app. You start it, start playing it, stop it. That's it. You don't have to try to create a castle out of it and concentrate on it. The key point is you don't have to concentrate on it. You can play, you can pause, and you can just spend some time on it and have some fun. So that is my third tip. A mobile user needs quick app. It's not meant for a complicated, sophisticated functionality. That's not is the user using your app for. For that, you have a iPad, you have a Mac, you have your. If you need a focused application, you will definitely use a desktop application, not a mobile phone. Okay, so the other thing which Prasanna was telling was avoid all the defaults. So from the App Store, these are the two most popular apps for movie and for Wikipedia. You see, when you start the application, you are instantly goes to a top box office. So this is your default. This is what you want to see. You don't want to go and see like what are the theaters near me, and you want to just check out what is the movie right now playing, and then you want to see what is the theater, or I want to log in at Facebook and do all those stuffs. So when you open an app, it should just present you the most important information the user has opened the app for. So have some defaults. Don't make user sign up and so on. We already learned that. So this is the tip 4. So let's go to the clock app. The clock app is, I think, the most interesting app, because there are like thousands and thousands of widgets, web widgets around the web, gadgets, Mac widgets, mobile apps around clock. Clock functionality is the most simple functionality. Anybody can code it in a day. But how difficult it is to make it a killer app. There are at least hundreds of Windows Phone clock app. All these are not killer apps. They don't have 5 stars, 4.5 stars, and 100 reviews. So I was able to find out one particular app which has a very good review and which comes close to our killer app definition. And you guys will be surprised to see that app. This is the app. There you go. Clock should show time. There's a customizable color, background, foreground. This is the app which has the most amount of user reviews, most popular. So I think developers might have spent like a lot of time on these apps, but they are missing the main point of the app, that it should be very clear. This particular app, I don't even know how to see time here. Anyway, but it's very creative. But there is a time and place for creativity, but it might not be in the mobile app.
Quick question with regard
Yes.
to that. Is part of the reason why some of these other clocks there, some of the negative reviews perhaps, is it perhaps performance, or is it related to advertising? Is it related to things that are outside of
Yes. Yes.
the functional app itself?
You are right. So that's why I'm saying that the first condition is it should work. Okay. So there might be some cases like this is not working properly, but my point here is clock functionality. How difficult it is to make it work, right? There might be a reason why this particular app is not reviewed properly, but if the functionality is not right, then definitely it should not be in the top 10 reviews, right? So this is the whole idea. I'm assuming from that baseline that we all have got our app work, and now we have to make it successful. Okay, so my tip here is simplify the user interface. Once like Prasanna was saying, you need to have a purpose for your application. If you know the purpose of your clock application is to show time in a full screen mode, this is it. This is what you need. This is what the user needs. That's it. And if you want some customizability, this is good enough. You don't have to be sophisticated analog clock or a design artistically beautiful clock. Okay, so next point I wanted to make was about the device. This is some of the key aspects of a particular phone, like pure view camera, image stabilized, 8 megapixel camera. So what I'm trying to say is try to utilize these features specific to a device. If you're making an app for an iPhone, so iPhone has this multi-touch, or something so unique about that device. If you use that particular hardware integration in your app, then your app is like indistinguishable. It's like, this is a very simple app, NFC launch it. It uses a near field communication. Some of you might know about near field communication. You can actually tap on something and it will play your audio music, or tap on something and it will send a message to your spouse. So this is the most basic application with such a glowing reviews, the top app, because it allows you can purchase a NFC tag, put it on your speaker, program it, and when you go home, you tap it and it will send a message to your spouse that you're home. or you tap on it and it will play a particular music you want. So the point is, when you utilize the device potential, your app and device becomes, it becomes, it's like a made for each other. Now it is inseparable from the device, and that makes it much more useful and useful for the user, and that makes your app successful. So that's my tip 6. Utilize the device potential. Okay, so next tip I'm going to give you is, okay, I'm going fast. So about the categories. You know, when you design an app, each app, you have to understand what category it belongs. I have my professor at Stanford University, he wrote a blog about this. He said that you need to know the meta competition. If you are a professor in a university and you are very good in teaching, but the university is great about research and the university stress on research work, you cannot shine if you are good teacher. You have to find a university where teaching is more important. So the reason I'm giving you this analogy is, if you are creating a application for news, you have to understand that category. What is that category? You know, what are the rules of the game in that category? What are the best practices? What are the design guidelines of that category? You cannot create a game in an information app. If you're trying hard to create a game in an information app, all your work is won't get you that far. So my point is, here are some of the news and information apps which are successful. You know, if you just see the top 5 category apps of your category and just, you know, see the competition. If you're creating a game or a news or something, just see, you know, what are the design guidelines. See, if you just check these few news apps, you will see a unique pattern here. All of them uses a panorama layout, which is unique to Windows, and all of them have this heterogeneous kind of data. You know, you have news, you have video, and this is not just for one. Pictures, videos, audio, video. So this is like a unique, like a standard guideline, which nobody talks about. But there's a design guideline for that, which is automatically, which evolved after some time. Because all of these people are creating these apps for forever, right? And you are now creating this app. So just follow these guidelines. So that's my tip 7. And let's go to the next one. Okay, so now we are leaving the conventional wisdom and going beyond that. So what is that? So this is one of the style and fashion app. Brit plus SEO is free, and look at this app. You know, style and fashion. It has these colors and very creative. This is about a magazine app, and the magazine is about creative living. But without saying that word, the app can reflect that theme. You know, so my point here is, once you develop your app, simplified it, use the device potential, think about this part. How to add that character to your app so that it stands out. You know, it should reflect if it is a puzzle or a game you are making. A puzzle app should have this mysterious look and feel. So this is what my tip is. You know, add that character, make your app stand apart from the competition by adding this personal touch, which your app is meant for. Any questions so far? Any other comments? Any of you have an app which has more than 100 reviews and 4.5 stars? Okay, otherwise you will not be here, right? You'll be busy developing your next app. But I am sure you guys will have now. Yes?
99% of the killer apps that you described should be free.
Not necessarily. All these apps have, that's a complete different discussion, but I'll tell you what happens. When you grab the user with like these many reviews and thousands of customers, then you create a paid version of that app. The first example I showed you, mini recorder free. There's a mini recorder paid. And when the user is so used to that app and they're so happy about that app, they go ahead and buy the app for that extra feature. So if you really want to make a business out of it, I think this is one of the best path to create a business model. Make a free app, make it so useful that people are happy about it. And then there is even an app in the App Store which does nothing. It's the same version which is free and paid. And the developer has just said that, please buy this app to help me. And a lot of people are buying it. Why not? I mean, it's like you are using something and you like it. Why would you not pay $299 to the developer who is spending all his time and effort to it? Right? It's just logical, right? It's like you are taking it before you are giving, so why not? And it's not something new. It has always been like that. There's a lot of people who just put a donate button in their website. If their apps are so useful, people are using it. Just put a donate button, and they make some money, not like a lot, but they can get coffee out of it definitely when they're developing. So okay, so now one of the most important part when you're developing an app, what I would like you to see is, look at this app, how clear it is, how clutter-free these big buttons. This is a bank app, and it is usable by most of the people, even senior citizens who might have visual problems. So because of the fonts, big fonts, and the contrasts are nice, and there's no clutter at all, straightforward. It can be useful to a much broader user base. We all are like pretty good with our eyes, but think about our parents. They are not that tech savvy. They are not that. They don't even. They might not even understand if there's a background image to this. What's going on, and so on. So my tip to you guys is, if you want an app which you want more people to use, make that app accessible. By accessible, I mean use these guidelines. Use big fonts, use a good contrast, use clutter-free design. Use this like these can be used with both hands without any problem. It's like almost symmetric. So these are some of the things which when you come to a point where you have all these things, 1 to 7 tips taken care, then you should think about this. This will help you to get to more users. And it's just good design. When you make your app accessible, it's much better design.
Quick question.
Yes.
Hoping you know the answer for this, being in Windows environment. There's distinct differences between the app feedback we see on the Android store versus iPhone store. I'm assuming Windows phone users might have a different context for the reasons why they might need feedback. In other words, there's this, because there are distinct patterns of feedback for different phones. I wonder if Windows phones are more forgiving on certain fronts than iPhone users would. Because if you look at Chase Mobile on iPhone, it doesn't get this high of rating, and I'm assuming it uses the same infrastructure.
So that is something. There can be a number of different reasons for that. One thing, like you said before, it should also work properly. I have seen a number of these apps. The bad reviews are like, it doesn't work for my particular account. So people just give a bad review because for the Chase premium account, it doesn't work. So I mean, there's a lot of different reasons which can cause that different reviews. And also, the technology is different, so it cannot be exactly the same. They will definitely try to make it as similar as possible, but then you never know. I mean, yes.
I mean, I can speak to that. I work on 500 mobile apps for a large financial institution that deploy across Android, Apple.
Yes.
And our ratings will vary from store to store based on feedback that we have
Yes, so that exactly can be one of the main reason, like the defects, the bugs in the earlier versions, and then every app has its own technology behind that. So when you create an accessible app, you are like not just reaching to more users, but you are also reaching users more amount of time. I'll tell you what I mean. When this app is so clear, you can actually use it in broad sunlight also, and at times when you are in a hurry and you want to just send money or something, so it's more accessible. We all need this kind of accessibility 20% of the time. 80% of the user need accessibility 20% of the time, maybe when we are busy or something. And the other 20% people who are like the senior folks, visual problems, they will need them more. So try to include them and increase your user reviews. So accessibility is about making your app available to more users. Okay, so one more app. This is my last app. So can anyone guess what is the tip I am going to give? What is so special about this app? Come on, guys. You guys have used calculator, right? All of you have used calculator? How boring is a calculator? Tell me that. Look at this guy. This is like, you can underline it and you can just, that will equate 2 + 2 = 4. This is like loving the app. You create a calculator and then you say that, okay, I want to use a blackboard thing, because I just want to do it like this. It's not because the users are asking for this. It's not about anybody else. It's about, I want to add that extra fun, extra surprise, extra delight, Like, I want to create a calculator the way I want it, not the way I have been seeing it in all sorts of calculators. Calculator is one of the most boring app, I would say. But once you use this is so much more fun. No wonder they have like 383 5 stars. Because, of course, all calculator works, but none of them has these e to the power x or log. You can type and have a blackboard. And this is something way beyond everything else. When you are in love with your app, you add some fun, and you have some fun when you are building it. If you come to this point, I can guarantee you that your app will be a killer app. So these are my 10 tips. Use design guidelines, grab user attention on the App Store, design for mobile user, make it self-explanatory, simplify the UI, utilize device potential, understand the category, add character, make it accessible, and have fun. Thank you. Any questions? Any tips you guys want to add? You guys want to tell me if I missed something or any particular thing which stands out to you guys? All right.
Like with the clocks, it was like keep it basic. Then the calculator, there was like the extra fun flair.
Yeah.
How do you strike the balance between those two?
Okay, so that's a good question. So the basic clock is definitely. So you have to add the fun without being obtrusive, without getting out of the main purpose of the application. When the clock you are designing and your design is so analogous and becomes complicated, your reviews goes down. But if you are creating a calculator, when you are adding this functionality without taking out the main purpose of the calculator. So I think that's a valid question. That's something you have to be careful about. You cannot just say that, okay, I want it like this. Like the recorder, the second example of the recorder has a big mic. That guy might also have loved that, right? So you have a valid point there. So, yes?
I can add to that. I think part of it is too that the clock is an output device. It's just outputting as opposed to the other one's interactive. So.
Yes, that's.
And also, I think the clock was probably good because the background makes it as if your nightstand light where you hit it and it backlit. That background color makes it. You look at it like, oh, okay, that looks like something I
That's added value there. All right, so thank you all, and have a nice rest of the day.